You already know that the sign in which planet is placed can totally change their nature. What about the houses? What is the difference? And we will be talking about the moon here. The moon is representing our sensitivity, our empathy, how we are giving to others, and also our interest and knowledge in history, culture, and psychology. So how all those features and skills, how they are presented in my life. So based on the Rasi chart and based on the moon placement in the house, 1st, 5th, or 9th. But you will agree it is getting much easier when first we understand the difference between the nature, or rather the sign, and the houses. So houses, the reference point is the ascendant, and ascendant is us, our intelligence. So the houses in the chart are showing the roles and the areas, the directions, and the point of reference is me. So 7th house is people who are on the other side of the table. Usually this is our partner or sometimes the enemies. It's like when you are getting the product, sometimes it says made in Germany, Poland, Austria, USA, and things like that. So the blessing is already coming with some features or also the state, like Venus is debilitated or Mercury is exalted, and those products are coming in that state. When we talk about the houses, it is more about the preference, like moon in the 8 or 12, it can mean that you are ignoring the health. So it's more about your attitude. And therefore, because the point of reference is you, we also may talk here about the process or how I'm digesting the knowledge and the features, the nice things about the planets in my life. So we will see the difference between the 1st, 5th, and 9th. The other planets joining, it's working like a sign, similar to sign. So Mercury would give that freshness, that talkative and childish sometimes nature, depending how it is good or bad. And the Saturn may give those very serious or stoic or depressed, depending also how the other planets are placed in the chart. So this is the basics. About the whole philosophy, it is somewhat similar to what Atmakaraka is doing. The definition of Atmakaraka is the planet is the highest degree. So the highest, it has the wisdom coming from the past life. If it's in the 1st degrees, it is again more like a child. And then if you would think about other situations in Vedic astrology, when the house decides the planet's blessing, the first thing which is coming to our mind is Badaka, very much. The planet there a little bit behaves like a Rahu. And when we are talking about the Digbala, so planets in like Agni planets, Sun, Mars, Ketu in 10th house, they are acting differently because they are on the good street, they are on a good highway when it comes to their nature. They can totally be dedicated to what they should be doing, for what they were created. The reverse would be for Dikshunya, or when these planets are in the opposite sign, like Mars, Sun, Ketu in the 4th, then they are blocked because of the nature of the house is not in sync with their nature. Now you may ask if that whole philosophy would work in the Vargas. Now that depends if that Varga has very strongly imbibed the concept of time, because the whole thing here is very much intertwined with that theory of time. This is the basic here philosophy, that the 9th house is about the past. 1st is Vartmana, which is our presence, how we are aware of the things, and 5th house is our future. And this very much also translates to relationship we have with family members or where they are in our chart. 5th is children, 9th is our forefathers, our father, so the past. And of course, we have to speak about the moon because that is our example here. The moon is about sensitivity, about emotions. It's like a mother, always giving, treating everything like a family, and also is having these features of interest into culture, anthropology, history, and also the psychology. So the rule presented in this video is basically analyzing how those qualities are imbibed in my mind or my life. How am I in tune with those features? Are they something which is very strong in me, or it's just starting to be there in my life? So let's start with the 9th house. Very handy here is the knowledge about the vritti and samskara. So vritti is something I'm doing once. then I'm doing it again. And after some time, it becomes habit, and the habit is samskara. Therefore, there is a difference between moon in Rasi chart and moon in the Navamsha. So moon in Navamsha is more mature, therefore it is showing our preferences. And therefore, Shastras like Sharavari or Jataka Parijata, they are paying a lot of attention to the moon sign, because this is like many vrittis, many things you were choosing in the Rasi chart, because the Rasi chart shows more about psychology of ours. And then based on the choices, you have created your samskaras, your habits, which are there seen in the Navamsha. And the Navamsha is the ninth house. So from there, we can understand that whatever is in the ninth house, it is already like my dharma. I already imbibed all those rules, all those skills, qualities. Now it is part of my dharma, how I see the world, how I'm walking in my life. So it's already there, almost like subconscious. And because it's so deep in me, I don't have any need to show it to other people or to compensate somehow with my clothes or my tattoos or my flags, symbolic way. It's already there. It's a part of my life. It's a part of my rules. Now let's go to the first, which is quite different. I also have it because it's very fresh. It just came from 12 to 1st. It is the life. I want to show everyone about this quality because it's a bit fragile. So this compensation mechanism is making that I want to really make tattoos about this, make some shirts, and I want to put it everywhere. So it is something like a flag I'm carrying. This may also be related to concepts of Kendra. First is the Kendra. Therefore, it's like a moon. It's a little bit, first of all, I'm vulnerable about it. It's more changeable. So I really have to have some external objects to keep it there, because it may go away with the tides of the Kendra. Now, from the ninth house perspective, it's like a little bit too much, right? Because for them, they already have it from past lifetimes. So you are a little bit too much about the whole thing. It's like some people who are listening for the bands for decades, and now you are putting those shirts or making the tattoos there. So for them, it's like you're a little bit noob. Now the fifth house, which is quite important, it's like a potential. It's like azimuth. I see that it's there all the time. It's like my plans. So the plans, like stickers I put, it's always before my eyes. And I'm not really there yet, but I'm very friendly with that concept. I'm making a place for it, like a placeholder. And I want to keep it space in my life. So I will eventually go there. It's very similar to when Prabhraja Yoga, 4 planets in one house, if they are in 5th, then we say that you are not sannyasi, but you are worshipping the sannyasis. So you are really very ready for that concept. At least you like it very much. Maybe not now, maybe in the future. So, but you are preparing yourself for that time. Now, the difference is also that the 5th house shows bhakti. This is the love, and the Jala Tattva, the watery emotion, is in the 5th house. So it's a bit irregular, just like the 1st house, different reason, but still. And the bhakti, sometimes you may be very emotional. In the 9th house, you are very steady. You are doing we say the samskara. So you are taking the vrata, the vow that you will be doing something, and you are doing it every day without any emotion. Sagittarius, you are like Jupiter and steady person. With the 5th house, Venus dominates. There is a big desire, big fixation or something, and therefore also the big bhakti. And it may, after some time, also transform into the 9th house. So we can see that the planets in the 5th and 9th may show the devata we are worshipping. Like if you have Mars in 9th, you may have some likings for form of God or the nature, or maybe even some role models who have those Mars features. When these are in the 5th house, the same happens, but more for the bhakti. So you have the desire for those devatas or those people. So we see that there is this potential, and there is this wishes and dreams which may happen. You are basically trying to set your life in such a way that it will finally meet whatever is in that fifth house. By the way, if you like to have your chart analyzed, all the planets, the timing when those planets are active, and the remedies for career life, relationship, and health, then please consider booking a constellation. The link you can find in the description. So we can see that the ninth house, I already have it, so I can teach it. Therefore, the ninth house is about Sagittarius. Ascendant is very like, I have to imbibe, I have to personalize all those features of the planet. And the fifth house is like my azimuth. I'm learning. This is my potential. I want to go there. The beauty about this system is that we can then transfer it to all the planets, just change the features and the qualities of what they give to us. And the final question is, can we use it somewhere other than Rasi chart, rather than main chart? Maybe in D27, maybe in D30, because it's all about our mental state, how we are processing different emotions and knowledge. So this also would be a question and space for research, how these planets will behave in those Varga charts. Okay, so that will wrap it up. And if you like to see another video from me, then please consider watching this one.